Welcome, viewers, to Bodhi Unified Flow. Here we simplify complexity and amplify performance. Let's jump right into it. In this explainer, we're diving deep into a critical, yet honestly frequently misunderstood phase of project management, value stream mapping, or VSM for short. More specifically, we are focusing laser-tight on Step 1, selecting the product family and defining the precise scope of your mapping exercise. Project life cycles, especially in complex fields like construction and design, are just full of hidden inefficiencies. We're talking waiting times, massive rework, totally uncoordinated information flows. Well, VSM is the essential lean tool we use to shine a spotlight on these wastes. But to do that effectively, we have to know exactly where to start looking. Here is our quick strategic roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with our welcome and objectives, move into the VSM context, then defining a product family, explore selection criteria, dive into some advanced methods, and finally wrap up with our summary and references.
All right, Section 1, Welcome and Objectives. Let's establish exactly what you'll gain from this session. By the end of our time together, you're going to have a rock-solid understanding of exactly how value stream mapping fits into the overall project lifecycle. You'll be able to confidently define a product family strictly in lean terms, which, as you'll see, is actually quite different from how we normally think about products. We're also going to look at how to apply both traditional and problem-based selection criteria so you can choose the perfect starting point. And finally, for those of you dealing with immense, overwhelming project complexity, we'll cover some advanced software grouping methods. Basically, you'll leave here fully equipped to define the exact scope of a mapping exercise, so your improvement efforts hit the bullseye every single time.
Moving right along to Section 2, the VSM context, identifying the flow of value.
Before we can isolate our target, we absolutely have to understand the broader context of the VSM methodology. According to the foundational research by Rother and Shook, value stream mapping is a 5-stage journey designed to completely root out non-value-adding activities. Step 1 is the selection of a product family. Step 2 is creating your current state map, which means actually going to see the physical value stream from the customer's perspective. Step 3 is identifying the ways to develop an optimized future state map, and then steps 4 and 5 are all about proposing and implementing your action plan. But I want you to think about this logically. Step 1 happens before any mapping or data collection even begins. If you fail to select the right product family, or say you define your scope way too broadly, those next 4 steps, they are going to completely collapse under the weight of overwhelming data. Your success literally hinges on nailing Step 1.
Which brings us to Section 3, Defining a Product Family. This is where we learn how to narrow the scope of the mapping exercise.
Now, lean philosophy fundamentally challenges our traditional thinking here. When we say product family in lean, we are absolutely not grouping items by what they look like to the customer or by their marketing category. Not at all. Instead, a product family is strictly defined as a group of products or services that pass through similar processing steps and utilize common equipment in their downstream processes. We're looking for shared technical resources, shared manufacturing cells, or common design steps. In short, we map the operational flow, not the physical appearance of the item.
Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you're in a complex environment like construction. If you take a broad view and try to map an entire high-rise building project from start to finish, well, you're going to drown. You'll be swimming in a sea of overlapping processes, conflicting schedules, and endless variables. It's just too much data, and you lose focus immediately. Instead, your target needs to be the product family view. This means you map a specific repetitive phase. Think about the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing fit-out cycle, or maybe just the procurement to delivery cycle for structural steel. By narrowing that scope, the inefficiencies suddenly become glaringly obvious, and actual, actionable, continuous improvement becomes a reality.
To really cement this idea, let's break down some tangible examples from the research. If you work in the construction design sector, your product families might be separated into small buildings, villas, or industrial buildings. Why? Because each of these groups shares common technological knowledge and uses specific, common hardware and software resources in the design phase. Now, flip that to the execution phase of building projects. There, your families might be basements, common areas, or facades. The shared characteristic here is dictated by the specific sequence of operations, like painting, flooring, and wall veneering, required to deliver that segment of value to the client. You are always grouping by shared operational DNA.
Okay, Section 4, Selection Criteria. How do you actually choose your initial target?
So you know what a product family is now. But what if you have 10 different product families in your facility? Which one do you map first? Well, the literature highlights 2 primary strategies. The first is traditional selection. This method essentially says, follow the money. It relies heavily on financial and volume metrics, usually utilizing ABC analysis. You look at your total annual production volume, your profit margins, and you select the product family that accounts for the largest proportion of your company's turnover. It's fantastic for maximizing financial impact. The second strategy, however, is problem-based selection. This approach focuses entirely on operational pain. You target the family that has the highest recurrence of incidents or the phase that's causing massive cascading delays across your project lifecycle. Both strategies are totally valid, but your choice depends entirely on your immediate strategic goals. Are you trying to maximize cost savings, or are you desperately trying to stabilize a chaotic process?
I want to highlight this fantastic quote from the International Group for Lean Construction Proceedings. It says, "For the first VSM, it's important to not choose a too complex product. Keep in mind that a VSM is done on one product. Do not lose focus." Honestly, when teams are just learning Lean and doing their very first value stream map, their own ambition can be their worst enemy. Start with a straightforward product family. Get a quick win under your belt. Prove to your team that the methodology works. If you start with your most tangled, messy process, everyone is going to get bogged down and discouraged before you even sketch out the future state map.
That takes us to Section 5, Advanced Methods. We're talking about high-variety, low-volume, or HMLV environments.
So, what happens when your project is definitely not a simple assembly line? What if you're dealing with constant customization, massive variety, and really low production volumes per item? In standard environments, you'd use a manual product quantity, or PQ, analysis matrix to group products. But in high-variety, low-volume environments, think custom-engineered order projects, doing this manually is a nightmare. It is incredibly complex and tedious. The sheer number of variables basically makes human analysis impossible. To get around this, industrial engineers pivot to computerized group technology. They use advanced software to mathematically crunch massive product process matrices. This computational power uncovers hidden routing commonalities that the human eye would completely miss, magically turning pure chaos into structured, manageable product families.
One specific software tool highlighted in the research for this is PFAST, which stands for the Production Flow Analysis and Simplification Toolkit. The process is pretty straightforward. First, you input spreadsheet data right from your operational routing sheets. This tells the system exactly where every single item travels on the shop floor. Second, the PFAST software does the heavy lifting, mathematically manipulating the product process matrix. Finally, it groups products with similar routings into highly coherent families. This is a real game changer because it allows highly customized, different products to pass through common, cell-like configurations with just minor setup adjustments. You maintain the integrity of the value stream without sacrificing any of your flexibility.
And finally, Section 6, Summary and References. Let's wrap up today's masterclass. Let's do a quick recap of what we've unpacked today. We successfully contextualized Step 1 within the broader 5-stage VSM methodology, and we established that accurate scoping is absolutely the bedrock of all process improvement. We completely redefined a product family, not by what it looks like, but strictly as items sharing downstream processes and equipment. We looked at how to pick your target, contrasting the financial focus of ABC analysis with the operational relief of problem-based selection. And we finished up by exploring how advanced PFAS software clustering can actually conquer the chaos of complex, high-variety, low-volume project lifecycles. Before we get to the references, I want you to take a second and really reflect on your own operations. If you analyzed your current product lifecycle right now, today, which hidden product family is causing the most waste and is just begging to be mapped? Is it a clunky design approval process? Is it how materials are staged on site? Finding that specific family, defining its scope, and isolating the operational reality is your very first and most crucial step toward true operational excellence.
For those wanting to dig deeper, here's the robust academic and industry research that powered today's explainer. This includes the foundational texts from Rother and Shook, MIT, and several brilliant proceedings from the International Group for Lean Construction. As we sign off, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. In your current operations, where exactly is your hidden waste living? And are you brave enough to map it tomorrow? Thank you for dedicating your time to learning with Bodhi Unified Flow. Keep analyzing, keep optimizing, and keep pushing for peak performance.